General adult tests checking blood cholesterol. Cholesterol is a fat-like substance carried in the blood. Some cholesterol is vital for normal functioning of the body, but too much of a certain type may increase your risk of developing health problems such as heart disease and stroke. Cholesterol plays a vital role in many body functions, such as making hormones, producing bile to help digestion, and keeping cell membranes flexible but firm. About 90% of our cholesterol in the body is made in the liver. Only a small proportion comes from the diet. Cholesterol is carried in your blood attached to proteins, in particles called lipoproteins. There are two main types of these: low-density lipoproteins, LDLs, and high-density lipoproteins, or HDLs. Triglycerides are a type of fat in the bloodstream. When you eat more calories or energy than you need, the excess energy is converted into triglycerides by the liver, then stored in body cells. High blood levels of triglycerides are associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease, which is why it is important to measure blood levels of triglycerides as well as cholesterol. Low density lipoprotein, or LDL, containing a relatively small amount of protein and large amount of cholesterol. LDL particles carry cholesterol from the liver to the body cells. LDL can deposit cholesterol on artery walls, forming fatty plaques that reduce blood flow, which is why LDL is called bad cholesterol. You can check your cholesterol yourself with a home testing kit. This uses a special reactive strip on which you place a drop of blood from a finger prick. The strip is then inserted into an analyzer, which gives the results within a few minutes, as well as a total cholesterol level. Some devices also measure HDL, LDL, and triglyceride levels and calculate the HDL to LDL ratio. Alternatively, there are home tests in which you send off the strip or a blood sample to a laboratory for analysis. Some pharmacies also offer blood cholesterol tests. The results should be considered in combination with other risk factors for cardiovascular disease, and appropriate medical advice should be sought. High density lipoprotein, or HDL. HDL particles contain relatively more protein and less cholesterol than LDLs. HDL helps to remove cholesterol from fatty plaques on the artery walls and carries the cholesterol to the liver for removal from the body, which is why HDL is known as good cholesterol. Cholesterol cycles between the liver and blood in two forms: HDL and LDL cholesterol. If there is more LDL than HDL, circulating fatty plaques can build up inside arteries. HDL acts to reduce plaques and return cholesterol to the liver. Cholesterol levels are measured by analyzing blood obtained from a finger prick or by taking a small sample from a vein in the arm. You may sometimes, but not always, be asked to fast for 8 to 12 hours before the blood sample is taken. If you are asked to fast, you should not eat or drink anything apart from plain water. You may also be asked to stop taking certain medications. If in doubt, consult your health professional. The blood sample is analyzed for HDL and LDL cholesterol levels, and often also for triglycerides. The HDL and LDL levels enable the total cholesterol and the total to HDL ratio to be calculated. Together, the results give an indication of your cardiovascular health in relation to your blood lipid level. Unhealthy total cholesterol is above 195 milligrams per DL, or 5 millimoles per liter. Health, unhealthy total cholesterol HDL ratio is above 4. Unhealthy triglyceride is above 205 milligrams per DL, or 2.3 millimoles per liter, non-fasting blood test, and above 150 milligrams per DL, 1.7 millimoles per liter, fasting blood test. The healthy figures are: for total cholesterol should be below 195 milligrams per DL, or 5 millimoles per liter. Healthy total cholesterol HDL ratio is below 4, ideally as low as possible. Healthy triglyceride is below 205 milligrams per DL, 2.3 millimoles per liter non-fasting blood test, and below 150 milligrams per DL or 1.7 millimoles per liter fasting blood test. Thank you for your attention.
Let's now go to pathology. Let's discuss full or empty conditions. A condition is defined as a mixed, full, or empty condition when there is a pathogenic factor and the upright Qi is deficient and it is therefore not fighting the pathogenic factor adequately or, in serious cases, not at all. In most chronic internal conditions, it is actually the deficiency of the upright Qi that leads to the formation of the pathogenic factor. Examples like spleen and kidney deficiency leading to the formation of phlegm. The pathogenic factors and upright Qi constantly interact with each other. Generally speaking, when one has the supremacy, the other goes down. For example, if phlegm, a pathogenic factor, grows in intensity, it will inevitably weaken the spleen and possibly also the kidneys. Vice versa, if the spleen and kidneys become stronger, the phlegm will be reduced. A full or empty condition is characterized by the presence of a pathogenic factor while the upright Qi is deficient. In chapter 8 of the simple question says, when pathogenic factors are strong, the condition is full, the upright Qi is deprived and becomes deficient. We can hypothesize 6 different situations with differing relative strength of pathogenic factors and upright Qi. These are no pathogenic factor normal, upright Qi is to health. No pathogenic factor deficient, upright Qi is empty condition. Strong pathogenic factor, strong upright Qi is a full condition. A strong pathogenic factor deficient upright Qi is a full or empty condition. A weak pathogenic factor with strong upright Qi is a full or empty condition. And a weak pathogenic factor with deficient upright Qi is a full and empty condition. 6 situations of relative strength of pathogenic factors and upright Qi. Pathogenic factor, it's none. Upright Qi is normal, and the result is health. And the pathogenic factor none, the upright Qi is deficient, and the result is empty condition. The pathogenic factor is strong, the upright Qi is strong, and the result would be full condition. If a pathogenic factor is strong, the upright Qi is deficient, the result would be full or empty condition. If the pathogenic factor is weak, the upright Qi would be strong, and the result would be a full or empty condition. And lastly, the pathogenic factor weak, the upright Qi would be deficient, and the result would be full or empty condition. Thank you for your attention.
Now let's do the Fut-Yang-Ming stomach meridian with the Hua Zhongmen. Stomach 24 or the Hua Zhongmen on the upper abdomen, 2 Shun lateral to the anterior median line, 1 Shun above the umbilicus. Okay. Hua Zhongmen lubrication, food gate, slippery gate, dark gate, and celestial manager. The point was probably named for its location, as it lies near the center of the person, close to the pyloric sphincter, a slippery flesh which opens into the small intestines. This point helps to stimulate balanced production of digestive secretions when there is a feeling of distension and food sitting heavily in the stomach. It assists with smooth processing at all levels of body, mind, and spirit. Without sufficient lubrication, whether by qi or stomach acids and peristalsis, nutrients, ideas, and experiences are not broken down as assimilated to become a part of who we are, but instead can cause a stagnation until we feel able to accept or stomach what life has sent us. If instead of processing particular issues, we continually divert around them, or become mentally blocked and possibly toxic, or weaken through being unable to be nourished by what we have ingested. The stomach 24 can help correct the imbalance, very good in combination with spleen 16 abdominal sorrow. The Yang Ming channel is said to rule the flesh, as the Suen says. Spleen engenders the flesh. This point affects both stomach and spleen. The stomach likes wetness and dislikes dryness. When there is heat in the stomach causing agitation and mania, this is a good point to use. It also affects the tongue. If the stomach fluids are deficient, the tongue dries, stiffens, and cracks. Indications: harmonized stomach and intestines, clear heat and calm agitations, gastrointestinal disorders. This point, which lies close to the opening of the small intestine, helps with digesting, processing, and assimilating of food and drinks, as well as with ideas and information, can be combined with spleen 16. Okay. So how to find it? The distance between the intercostal angle and the center of the umbilicus is divided into 8 tune, which can vary considerably from the patient's finger tune. Therefore, only proportional tune measurements should be used. Stomach 24 is located 1 tune above the umbilicus and 2 tune lateral to the anterior midline. Located on the same level is Ren 19, well, it's in the anterior midline. Often also liver 13 at the free end of the 11th rib will be located at this level. So how to needle it? Vertically, 0.5 to 1 tune, portion, peritoneum, pregnancy. Actions and indication: regulates the stomach, transforms phlegm, and calms the shen. Thank you for your attention.
Let's now go to spleen patterns. Let's discuss spleen failing to control blood. The concept of spleen failing to control blood, this is due to spleen qi deficiency failing to hold the blood in the vessels and causing extravasation of blood and hemorrhage. It is also called qi unable to hold the blood. In the analysis, this pattern is usually caused by weakness of the spleen after a chronic disease or by overstrain, which damages the spleen, the fatigue damage, both of which lead to failure of the spleen in controlling blood. Key symptoms would be hemorrhage and spleen qi deficiency symptoms at the same time. The comparison of 4 patterns of spleen deficiency. In the spleen qi deficiency pattern, for common symptoms would be abdominal distension, which is worse after eating, poor appetite, loose stool, short breath, lassitude of the limbs, laziness in speaking, and a sallow complexion. The different symptoms would be edema, thin body, a pale tongue with a white coating, and the moderate and weak pulse. For spleen yang deficiency pattern, the same common symptoms. Different symptoms would be abdominal pain, which is relieved by warmth or pressure, cold limbs, scanty urine, or heaviness of the body and limbs, or general edema, or clear watery leukorrhea. For tongue, it would be a pale and large tongue with a whitish slippery coating. The pulse would be deep, slow, and weak. For the sinking of spleen chi pattern, the common symptoms would be the same. The different symptoms is a bearing down sensation and distension in the epigastrium and abdomen, or frequency or urgency of defecation, a bearing down sensation of the anus, or chronic diarrhea, or even prolapse of the rectum or uterus, a turbid urine. The tongue would be pale with a white coating, and the pulse would be weak. In the spleen failing to control blood, the common symptoms would be the same. The different symptoms would be hemophagia, blood in the stools, hematuria, petechia, blood spots under the skin, epistaxis, nasal bleeding, menorrhagia, or metrorrhagia, and metrostaxis. The tongue would be pale with white coating, and the pulse would be thready and weak. In the clinical manifestations, hemophagia, blood in stools, hematuria, blood in the urine, gingival bleeding, epistaxis, nose bleeding, and petechiae, hemorrhage into the skin, menorrhagia, excessive menstrual flow, metrorrhagia, bleeding from the uterus that is not associated with menstruation, uterine bleeding that is often accompanied by a pale complexion, lusterless skin, upper appetite, loose stool, fatigue, lack of strength, shortness of breath, laziness in speaking, a pale tongue, and a white coating, and a thready and weak pulse. In the analysis of spleen failing to control the blood in a pattern, the spleen chi deficiency, failure to control blood, when the blood seeps out of the vessels in the stomach and the intestines, it would cause hemophagia. If the blood seeps out of the vessels in the bladder, it would cause hematuria. If the blood seeps out of the vessels into the skin, it would cause blood spots under the skin or yin maculae. If the blood seeps out of the vessels, there would be a disturbance in Chiangmai and Renmai and would cause menorrhagia, metrorrhagia, and uterine bleeding. For failure of transportation and transformation, there would be a poor appetite and loose stool. For inadequate for formation of blood, there will be a sallow complexion, lusterless and pale complexion, fatigue, lack of strength, shortness of breath, and laziness in speaking. For inadequate source of formation of blood, a pale tongue with a white coating and a thready weak pulse. The spleen failing to manage the blood. In etiology, excessive consumption of cold and raw foods which hinder the spleen, irregular eating, and eating too much, a diet lacking in protein, excessive mental activity, prolonged exposure to damp, chronic illness. An underlying or accompanying pathology would be spleen chi deficiency. For signs and symptoms, a poor appetite, a slight abdominal distension after food, tiredness, weakness of limbs, pale and sallow complexion, weak and fatigued spirit, loose stools, tendency to obesity, petechiae, blood in urine or stools, excessive uterine bleeding, dizziness, heart palpitations, and shortness of breath. The pulse would be weak or fine, the tongue would be pale, and the treatment principle would be boost chi to contain blood. For acupuncture treatment, we can use REN12, which supplements stomach and spleen. Spleen 3, the source point of the spleen. Bladder 20, supplements spleen chi for chronic conditions. DO20 raises yang, nourishes the marrow. Bladder 17 nourishes and harmonizes blood. Spleen 1 strengthens spleen 6 supplements spleen cheese, spleen 6 supplements spleen chi, bladder 21 supplements stomach and spleen chi, Ren 6 regulates chi, harmonizes blood, and spleen 10 helps spleen manage blood. In needle with supplementation and moxa for blood and stool, we can do Ren 4 and bladder 35. For flooding or spotting, Ren 4 and Ren 6. Thank you for your attention.
Now let's have inquiry. Common symptoms of sense organs. First is the nose. In nasal congestion, this is the most due to exogenous wind cold or wind heat invading the lung, so that lung qi fails to ascend and act fully. If due to wind cold, there is also drainage of much clear discharge. If due to wind heat, there is also drainage of turbid discharge. Nasal pain, this is principally due to lung heat or stomach heat rising to the nose. There often are fever, cough, thirst, a red tongue with yellow coating. Sometimes there is a constipation as well. In oral cavity, taste. Sometimes patients have a taste in the mouth that is not related to eating or drinking. Such, for information, provides additional clues of illnesses. A bitter taste indicates heat and is mostly seen in dampness heat in the liver and the gallbladder, flaming upward of liver fire or heat in the stomach. A sweet taste is mostly seen in dampness heat in the spleen and the stomach or dampness accumulation in a deficient spleen. A salty taste is seen in kidney illnesses and cold. A sour taste is seen in heat accumulation in the liver and the stomach or in the indigestion from overeating. Blandness, as a complete absence of taste, indicates deficiency of the spleen and the stomach qi. Sores or ulcers, inflamed aphthous sores or ulcers that are very painful and are accompanied by much thirst, dry feces, and a rapid and forceful pulse are due to strong fire heat. If they are pale and not painful and there are hotness, feeling in the 5 centers, a red tongue with a little coating and a thread-like and rapid pulse, they are due to blazing fire due to yin deficiency. In tongue pain caused by fire heat may be due to strength of or deficiency. Tongue pain due to heat strength is mostly due to flaming upward of strong fire in the heart, the liver, or the stomach. Tongue pain due to deficiency is mostly due to deficiency of heart, liver, or kidney yin, which permits fire to arise and to flame upward. Tongue numbness, this is mostly due to deficiency of blood or qi, so that the tongue loses its nourishment. It may also be due to phlegm blocking the tongue meridians. Thank you for your attention.
Physical examination strategies. Head-to-toe examination, part 3. Patient reclining, 45 degrees. Assist the patient to a reclining position at a 45-degree angle. Stand to the side of the patient that allows the greatest comfort. Inspect jugular venous pulsations. Measure jugular venous pressure. Patient supine with chest exposed. Assist patient into a supine position. If the patient cannot tolerate lying flat, have him or her maintain head elevation at 30-degree angle if possible. Uncover the chest while keeping the abdomen and lower extremities draped. Female breasts. Place a towel or pillow under the patient's back and ask her to raise her arms above her head. Inspect and palpate breast. Palpate the nipple. heart, palpate the precordium, palpate the apical pulse, percuss the borders of the heart, auscultate heart sounds. Patient supine with abdomen exposed. Cover the chest with the patient's gown and expose the abdomen. Abdomen. Inspect the abdomen for peristalsis, asymmetry, and abdominal distension. Assess skin of abdomen, observing color, scars, rashes, or lesions. Auscultate all four quadrants for bowel sounds. Auscultate for vascular sounds, bruits, venous hums, and friction rubs. Percuss all quadrants for dullness. Percuss for tympany and hyperresonance. Percuss the liver. Percuss the spleen. Using light, moderate, and deep palpation, palpate all quadrants. Perform fluid weight test. Palpate for rebound tenderness. Palpate for inspiratory arrest, the Murphy sign. Palpate for McBurney sign. Palpate for abdominal aortic aneurysm. Palpate right costal margin for liver border. Palpate the liver. Palpate the kidneys. Palpate the spleen. Thank you for your attention.
Let's now go to acupuncture for emergencies. Let's discuss trauma. Cerebral concussion, when a person falls from a high space or is beaten by something, causing cerebral concussion and loss of consciousness, use the following treatments. Use bleeding therapy on the kidney tube point. Use bleeding therapy on the veins on the back of the ears. Use acupuncture on the DO26, DO20, and kidney 1 points. Use acupuncture on the UB11, UB10, and UB66 points. Use acupuncture on the GB21 and stomach 36 points. Trauma to chest, you can use acupuncture on the GB21 and stomach 36 points. Use acupuncture on the chest pain point. For trauma to abdomen, use acupuncture on the GB21 and stomach 36 points. Use acupuncture on the chest pain points. Trauma to body muscles. For the treatment of pain due to trauma on the head, arms, legs, and so on, refer to the corresponding chapters for the treatment of pain. For acute bruises, if a cold compress is used, it should not be used more than 20 minutes. It is recommended to use moxibustion, indirect moxibustion with the moxie not touching the skin, on the affected body area for as long as 3 to 4 hours. This is not for open wounds. If the body falls to the ground due to a fall or beating, have the person lie on the ground without movement for 10 to 15 minutes and then gradually move the body. Sudden and quick getting up causes more damage. If the bone fractures are suspected, use the conventional ways, Western or Chinese, to fix the fractures before acupuncture. If the trauma is on a muscle, give the herbal tea Yu Ji Tang or Chao Hu Tang, plus the herbs Tao Ren and Hong Hua. If trauma is on the stomach, give an herbal tea of Simi San plus Tao Ren and Hong Hu. If trauma is in the bladder and the person cannot pass urine, give Tao Hui Cheng Chi Tang. Use folk therapy for all kinds of trauma. Wash spinach and press it to collect juice. Drink the juice 2 or 3 times a day, 150 ml each time. Dry orange core and grind it into powder. Eat 10 grams each time with liquor to help swallow. How to tell if there is blood stagnation or dead blood in the body. There is pain upon pressing on the UB17 point on the back 1.5 soon from under the seventh cerebra. Tongue index on the side of the tongue, pressing pain on the spleen 10 point, pressing pain on the spleen 6 point, mostly for bleeding in the lower abdomen. Patient is thirsty but has no desire to drink water. Thank you for your attention. Let's now go to erectile dysfunction. Let's discuss clinical tips. The channels influencing men's genitalia. The genitals are related primarily to the liver and kidney channels and to the Ren, Chong, and Du-mai. The liver-luo channel loops around the genitalia, while the influence of the Ren-mai on the genitalia is obvious. That of the Du-mai vessel is often overlooked. The Su-wen describes an anterior branch of the Du-mai vessel that flows to the external genitalia both in men and women, and to the pubic bone, and from here ascends up the abdomen on the same trajectory as the Ren-mai. The branch of the Du-mai going to the penis in men and vagina in women has clinical significance because it means we can use the Du-mai rather than the Ren-mai for genital problems in both men and women. We would want to do that when there is a pronounced kidney yang deficiency. The pathways of the channels flowing to the genitalia are as follows. A branch of the Du-mai flows down to the genitalia. The kidney main, luo, and muscle channels flow through the genitalia. The liver main, luo, divergent, and muscle channels wrap around the genitalia. The role of the heart in the male genital system. The menstrual and sexual function in women and the sexual function in men rely on the coordination and harmony between the kidneys and the heart. The water of the kidneys and the fire of the heart need to nourish each other. While the kidney jing is the origin of sperm in men and menstrual blood, ova in women. The heart plays an important role in erection and sexual arousal. In particular, in men, the heart plays a crucial role in erection, orgasm, and ejaculation. Just as the discharge of blood at menstruation and the release of the eggs at ovulation depend on the descending of heart chi, erection and ejaculation also depend on the descending of heart chi. To perform these functions, heart chi descends to communicate with kidney chi. Kidney water needs to ascend towards the heart and heart fire, the physiological emperor fire. It needs to descend towards the kidneys. The coordination between the descending of heart fire and the ascending of kidney water ensures a normal menstruation and ovulation in women and normal sexual function in both men and women. The ascending of the kidneys and the descending of the heart in the menstrual and sexual sphere is also ensured by the communication between the Du-mai and the Ren-mai. In fact, both these extraordinary vessels originate from the space between the kidneys. Both flow through the uterus in men through the prostate, and both flow through the heart. The Du-mai and Ren-mai form a closed circuit and may be looked upon as one channel, one yang, the other yin. The Du-mai represents the kidney yang and the Ren-mai, the kidney yin, in the fluctuation of yin and the yang during the menstrual cycle. The proper communication between the heart and the kidneys, between the Du and Ren-mai, ensures a normal menstruation and ovulation and normal sexual function in both men and women. With regard to sexual function, during sexual excitation, the minister fire within the kidneys is aroused and flows up towards the pericardium and heart. For this reason, the person becomes flushed in the face, the complexion is a manifestation of the heart, and the heart rate increases during sexual excitation. With orgasm and ejaculation, there is a downward movement of chi which releases the accumulated minister fire downwards. In order for this to occur normally, the downward movement of heart chi is crucial. A normal sexual desire, arousal, erection, and orgasm therefore relies on three main factors. First, the ascending of kidney water and descending of heart fire. Second, the communication between the kidneys and the heart. And third, the connection between the Du and Ren Mai. If the minister fire within the kidneys is deficient there will be a decreased libido in both men and women, an inability to reach orgasm in women, and impotence in men. If heart chi and heart blood are deficient or not ascending to communicate with the kidneys, there may be impotence or premature ejaculation in men and inability to reach an orgasm in women, even in the presence of sexual arousal. The discussion on blood, written in 1884 by Zhang Zonghai, says, fire is yang and generates blood, which is yin. On the other hand, blood nourishes fire and makes sure that fire does not flare up, whilst blood moistens the lower burner. It is stored in the liver, it fills the sea of blood and the Chong and Ren and Du Mai, and it warms and nourishes the whole body. When blood moistens the lower burner and the sea of blood, the heart fire follows it down to the umbilicus, then blood is flourishing and fire does not flare excessively, so that men are free of disease and women are fertile. From this passage, it is apparent that the heart chi and heart blood need to flow downwards to the lower burner to interact with blood and jing. Thank you for your attention.